Guys, how many Saw movies are they gonna make? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Saw X or Saw 10 movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is getting crazy. Saw X, y'all. This is now the 10th film in the franchise, and I was so serious when I started out my intro saying how many films are they going to make. I was not looking forward to this movie, and I'll talk about that in a second, but this movie is being directed by Mr. Kevin Grutert, and I've never heard of him before, but when I scrolled down and looked at his filmography, there was a title or two that I was familiar with. Again, he's directing Saw X or Saw 10, but guys, he did Saw 3D. And to be honest with you, I really don't remember that one other than it was bad, but he did direct Saw 6. Now, the reason why that is important to me is the first two Saw movies are the best, Saw 1 and Saw 2, and this film actually takes place in between those. Saw 3 was okay, Saw 4 and 5 were absolutely trash, but Saw 6 was actually pretty good. I didn't realize this gentleman was directing this film until after I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, that may be why I liked or disliked it so much, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. But yes, this man, Kevin right here, is the director behind Saw 6, one that I did like. And if you've seen any of his other films, please let me know down in the comment section below. Now, I don't remember all of the Saw movies because they just start getting worse and worse. Like I said, 4 and 5 were trash. 6 was good. 7, 8, and 9, I really don't remember. 3D, I know the last one with Chris Rock, that was okay, but I really don't remember them. But I do have the originals right here on DVD, baby. I got the first Saw film right there, and I also have Saw 2. I'm dropping it. Saw 2 right there on DVD as well. I don't have Saw 3 or any of the other ones because, like I said, I really didn't like those. But I was not looking forward to this movie at all. When I first saw the poster, the trailers, them talking about this film, I was like, damn, really? How many Saw movies are you going to make? These movies are not good. Yes, they do make money, but they are not. And I don't need, do they? They have to be making money if they're number 10, but they're not good. I just wish this franchise would die. But then there was no screening in my area in Dallas except for a few select cities in the country, and those reviews popping out saying, man, this is the best or one of the best sequels in the whole franchise. I was like, you don't say. Maybe I will go ahead and check this out, and that's what leads me here. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this Saw film is all about. A sick and desperate John travels to Mexico for a risky and experimental medical procedure in hopes of a miracle cure for his cancer, only to discover the entire operation is a scam to defraud the most vulnerable. All right, guys, the first thing that I really did like about this movie is this is the first one in the franchise that I can remember to where we got this much screen time from Tobin Bell, who is playing John Kramer. From beginning to end, he is in every scene, and that really wasn't the case in the other Saw movies. He was either a voice you heard on an intercom, some recording, or back in the shadows on some video screen, or if we did see his real life persona, it was during a flashback or really brief. That is not the case here. We did see a lot of John Kramer, and I really did like that. The next thing that I liked about the film is we got to see more of his personality, especially when things did not go his way. He seems like somebody that's super duper cold and cares for no one, but we got to see him interacting with a young boy to show that he does have a heart somewhere. And also we got to see him, we got to see him angry. Usually he's just talking in the same monotone voice like, yes, this is a game and this is your choice and you have to get out of here, with this raspy voice. But there are some things that happen in the third act, which I won't spoil for you here, to where he was a bit out of character, screaming, yelling. We got to see him talk at the top of his lungs. And I really did like that. And again, another side of John Kramer that I've personally never seen before. And the next thing I like about this film is it really does make you sympathize with John Kramer. You feel sorry for him. Some people may be able to even empathize with the man, and that's not far-fetched to say, the least, to be honest with you. He is going through something that a lot of people on this earth have gone through with terminal illnesses, and there's really nowhere to turn, and you're desperate for treatment. A lot of people have gone through that. I have not, but I can understand where a lot of people coming from saying, man, I really can't relate to John Kramer in this movie. I went through the same thing with a loved one of my own. I understand where this guy gets it. And after 10 films, you may be saying to yourself, okay, how many traps, devices can they come up with? They are still very creative with all the traps and the deaths. I really do like that. This continues to be a gore fest. There was a number of traps going down to where I couldn't even watch it. It was just too much for me. I was like, wow. And it gets worse and worse as the film progresses on. There was one in particular where I really couldn't watch it. I was going like this the whole time, just covering up my face, like, oh, peeking out. Like, I can't watch it. It was just too gross, too grotesque. And if that is something that you like, this is going to be right up your alley. And another great thing that I liked about the traps is the way that it was sold to you by not just the visuals, but the sound editing and sound mixing. There was one death to where the character pretty much had to torture themselves, and what they was able to do off screen, off camera, but still bring it to life with the sound was incredible. It was very, very effective and made you want to throw up in your movie seat when you're not even watching it. You can just hear it. It was just that gross. I really got to give it up to the sound editing team right there because they did a phenomenal job. And I really cannot remember the last time I was in a theater and the sound mixing and or editing was this great to where it made the film that much better in this particular moment. I also love the fact that this film does answer questions that it does rise up, or answers questions that may have popped up in the other past Saw films. Like, how does John know all of this information? Why is he so smart? Why does he have an architectural mind? Why does he know how to engineer this and engineer that? And just a line of dialogue or two, they addressed that, and I like what they delivered. I do like that some old characters from the past did pop back up, and for the most part, this film is unpredictable. And I like the nostalgic factor that is being brought back into the Saw franchise. When we got into the sequels like 4, 5, 6, 7 and all that, there was a lot of things that made the first two films great that they left out of the sequels. All those things do come back full circle, and I did appreciate each one of them. I also love that we got a great antagonist during this film as well. When you're watching it, you're going to be saying to yourself, man, the person that is in this trap right here, they truly do deserve what they're getting right now. You reap what you sow, and John Kramer is the king of that, and he makes sure you know it as well. Now, I'm a fighter of justice over here on this channel, and man, I do believe what goes around comes around. But in some of the old Saw franchise movies, you may be saying to yourself, okay, this person may be a bad person, but do they really deserve all that they're going through right now to try to live, to try to survive? Do they really deserve this trap that John has put on them? Probably not. They definitely may deserve some jail time, but they don't deserve all this or potentially getting their eyeballs sucked out of their head. In this film, there are a number of people that really do deserve what they're getting, in my opinion. I said that I am a fighter for justice over here, and I want to eliminate all evil. And at the most, or at least, okay, some people deserve to be in prison. But man, do they deserve these traps? Again, they do paint a great picture to where you're saying to yourself, yes, they do deserve it, and I want to see them suffer. Really makes this film that much more entertaining. But guys, those are the things that I really did like about the film. Now let me just transition to some things that really didn't work for me. And it comes down to the ending. It comes down to the twist. At the very end of every Saw movie, there's some surprise, there's some reveal, there is some twist. I will say the twist for this film was a little bland to me, and also just dumb luck. In my opinion, I don't see how John could have predicted the events that took place in a certain order for him to potentially accomplish his goal. Whether he did or not, you're just going to have to see the film. But when the twist did pop off, I was like, oh, okay, that's it. It's a bit straightforward, and I'm not like blown away like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming, and it was there the whole time, not even remotely close to part 1 and part 2. Also, there is a shroud of mystery that is missing from this film. During the first 2 movies, there was always something in the background to where you're saying, okay, what is the pieces to the puzzle? How can I figure this out? That's not the case here. Everything is just straightforward. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because they did execute everything in this film very well. It's just when you're used to the storytelling that they did in the past, you kind of miss it doing this film right here. But other than that, guys, I really don't have any complaints. I really did enjoy this film. This is one of the better Saw films in the entire franchise. Again, it's not better than the 2 originals right here, but it is good. It's definitely top 3, top 4 in my humble opinion. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but for now, guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you really did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And guys, if I had to rate Saw X, Saw 10 out of a 1 out of 10, man, how do I want to rate this? I was going to say a 7.5 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Yes, a solid 8 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Tait, and that's just my opinion. Peace.